We're back. Nicholas Coriano and my partner, Daniel Wachtel. How's it going, my man?
Everything's wonderful over here. How about you, Nick?
I'm excellent, stupendous, superb, vibrant. I'm going to come up with a couple more adjectives for the next podcast.
I gotta go read my vocabulary book.
Exactly. We need to get you a financial dictionary for this podcast to make sure we never screw up any financial terms. Wow.
Me?
They're like, please rewind the podcast and go check out number 4, stock splits. All right, so what are we talking about today? Today, I read on Bloomberg, the world's biggest wealth fund hits $1 trillion. Wow.
Wow.
The hell are they talking about? It says, fund has ballooned in size since first cash injection in 1996. Fund manages oil wealth for future generations of Norwegians. So it's basically, it's Norway's sovereign wealth fund. $1 trillion for the first time on Tuesday, driven higher by climbing stocks markets and the weakening U.S. dollar. Good Lord, Bloomberg, you don't like our dollar? What's up with that, bro?
I don't think our dollar is doing so great. I don't think anybody likes our dollar, let alone Bloomberg. But are they gonna what's this have to do with OPEC now?
Hold on, Bloomberg wants to sing to me over here. But basically, Bloomberg is saying that it has a few rivals. Japan's government pension investment fund has 1.3 trillion, and China has 3 trillion in reserves. There's also big cash money management firms. BlackRock has 5.7 trillion, and Vanguard has 4.4 trillion. Damn. Okay, so Norway's got $1 trillion. Japan's pension funds got $1 trillion. China's got 3 trillion. BlackRock has 5.7 trillion and Vanguard 4.4 trillion. Man, if that, excuse me, gentlemen, anyone running those funds, if you need an extra hand.
I think they should. Running $1 trillion has to be pretty difficult.
Right? Good Lord. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And that's why and Vanguard and BlackRock, these guys just behemoths, son. $1 trillion. Let me see what BlackRock. I want to see.
5.7 trillion I'm looking at with their big cash piles of money management firms, which is BlackRock Inc. 5.7 trillion.
I like BlackRock. BlackRock, check this out. BlackRock stock price today, $432. Market cap $69 billion. So how does that work if they're $1 trillion company? I guess because they're holding that money in trust, it's not really theirs, right?
It's true. Yeah, if they started having redemptions after redemptions, I guess it would take a while. But yeah.
Their market cap is based on their revenue. It's not based on how much they're holding. Because obviously, right? Because if it was, it would be $1 trillion. 5.7 to be exact.
Market cap is the price times shares outstanding.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is it's not reflective of the fact that they're holding on to $5.7 trillion.
Because if whoever, because obviously it's not like Mr. and Mrs. Jones down the street of your average investor are at BlackRock right now. It is sovereign funds that are in there. There are huge groups. Same with Vanguard. I mean, Vanguard.
Yeah, but Vanguard has a bunch of ETFs, and so does BlackRock. These guys have ETFs and index funds, and we're buying in. BlackRock owns iShares. iShares, like your mom and dad are buying. My mom and dad are, our families are buying. People are buying that in their stock portfolio. So they really are holding on to both, because you're right, they're holding on to big sovereign funds. but they're also taking that retail money and they're holding on to ETFs and index.
Which is the smart way to go, because they can take one pile of it, put it into the ETFs, index funds, and run it that way. Like Vanguard, they don't have people looking. It's a pretty much a passive way to invest when you look at Vanguard. It's very low fee. They just kind of throw the money in there. They have somebody looks at it, so there's no real issue that goes on.
Check this out. You want to hear something great? They're running at 29% margin, profit margin.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
BlackRock?
BlackRock. That's BlackRock. Let me check out Vanguard. Larry Fink is the head of Larry Fink is the head of BlackRock. Good job, Larry. Or Lawrence. It says Lawrence Fink. Good job, Lawrence. He's doing a great job over there, man. Jeez. And then Vanguard. If I type in Vanguard to all you're gonna find is a bunch of ETFs. Vanguard is just ETF central, and I love them for it because they have an ETF for everything.
They also own. Well, a lot of their money is coming from 401ks, and
they got it all. These guys are across the spectrum.
Because when I was a financial advisor,
you were a financial advisor, Dan. Where were you a financial advisor?
I was a financial advisor at Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch. Wonderful.
Big shout out to Morgan and Merrill. I loved working at Merrill, by the way. It was.
I have a little of Merrill, but hey.
Dan's like, I'd rather be doing podcasts and consulting clients from my house.
Yeah, I mean it's you work at Merrill these days. It's more like you're working at. See, the difference is you were Merrill Lynch. I was Bank of America Merrill Lynch.
Yeah, I guess it's different.
So
I got love for them though, man. I'm like, send me a check. I'm like, I'll promote you guys.
I'm just saying, just send me a check. I'll promote you too, but I don't like the fact that.
But I might not tell my kid to go work there.
Yeah, I don't like the Bank of America took over Merrill Lynch. I think legacy Merrill Lynch guys would agree.
Yeah, well, that had to happen at the time. I think you were in a point where I think who was that at the head over there? Theo? Was it Theo?
It was actually it was O'Neill.
Yeah, I don't know who the head was, but I remember at the time it was a smart move because the banks were consolidating. They were lucky to just get out alive, man. That was bashing season, and who knows what the ETFs and the fund managers were holding. It was a scary time, man. I think it was a good move for them.
Yeah, before that I was at Bear Stearns. I was right in the thick of it.
So you got to talk about the big ones. So that's today's podcast, guys. $1 trillion funds out there, man. Norway, Japan's pension fund, China, of course, BlackRock, Vanguard. These guys are behemoths. You guys got to get into the ETF space if you want to make $1 trillion.
And the last thing, the weirdest or the greatest thing about Japan's pension fund is that it's such a small island, but it has everybody lives to 100.
And they're holding on to that money. That's not the greatest thing about the Japan pension fund. That's the greatest thing about Japan, period.
Yeah. You live in Japan, you're going to live to 100.
And that's the final note. That's the bull on the street, baby. We'll talk soon, guys.